that out. I don't see any reason why there should be any action taken. Yeah, I will. You will.
Okay, it being 5 p.m., the Lafourche Parish Council meeting of January 28, 2025 is hereby called to order. Ms. Carleen, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Broomfield. Mr. Adams. Mr. Perk. Mr. Melvin. Mr. Pierce. Mr. Araby. Chairman Oten.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson. Mr. Lorraine. And President Chasson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carleen. If everyone would please rise, we'll be led in invocation by Councilman Broomfield, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Adams.
Our Father, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your many blessings. Thank you for the greatest gift to the world, Jesus Christ. We ask that you, your divine presence, would intervene in our affairs. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'd like to start off by welcoming everyone to tonight's meeting. We would kindly ask that you please silence your phones or turn them off out of respect for everyone else. As is customary, when we get to different items in the agenda under ordinance, I will ask for public input prior to discussion among the council. When we get to resolutions, we'll just discuss among the council. If you have any item you wanted to discuss tonight, please fill out a blue form, get it up to the council clerk so we can be sure to recognize you during public wishing to address the council. With that said, we'll jump right into tonight's agenda. Item A, state and or federal legislative updates. Do we have any in the audience? I see a lot of heads shaking no's. Item B, we have none. Brings us to item C, proclamation. Number 1, Parish President Archie Chesson to present a proclamation proclaiming the week of February 3rd through the 7th, 2025 as National School Counseling Week. Mr. President, you have the floor first, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential, and whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as traits that can relate to their career awareness and development. Whereas school counselors help families focus on ways to further the academic career and social and emotional development of their children. And whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. And whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive development school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in schools. Now, therefore, I, Archie Chesson, Parish President of Lafourche, do hereby proclaim February 3rd through the 7th, 2025 as National School Counseling Week. Do we have any? I don't know if anybody's here tonight. Well, that's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. That brings us to item D, presentations and or updates. We do have a few. First up will be Mr. Robert Landry, Director of Lafourche Parish Recreation District Number 8, to present his annual report. You have the mic, Mr. Landry.
It's on. Robert Landry, 2121 Highway 654, Gaines, Louisiana. Our personnel remain the same. Our board consisted of Ferry Bro III, Chairman, Michael LeGuin, Cody Gautreaux, Toby Dufresne, and Becky Toops. Our support personnel is Linda Toops, Secretary, Charlene Dalvan, my assistant, and Lane Toops, our custodian. We meet every second Monday of the month at the Gaines Community Center at 7:30. 2024 revenues. Ad valorem, $43,333.39. Library lease, $100. Revenue sharing, $10,515.69. And donations, $1,300, which is a total of $55,249.59. 2024 expenses. Professional fees, $8,080. Utilities, $45.80. Maintenance and repairs, $27.97. Ballpark, $57.20. Overages is the amount of money we have to repay to the government account when we go over. That pays my salary and some of the kids' salaries and all, and we always go over the amount in that account, so we have to make up the difference. That was $58.72. Advertisement, insurance. Advertisement was $18.77. Insurance, $22.81. Recreational support, $96.92. Equipment, $1,099. Basher Gaines lease, $10,515. I have to talk a little bit about this. In our December 23rd final meeting, the president of the Gaines Community Center presented us with a new contract for 2024. The lease went from $18,000 to $24,000. We couldn't afford the $18,000. So we rebutted with an offer of $10,500, or we'd have to get out the contract completely. Well, they accepted the $10,000. So our total expenses, $52,514.67. I want to reiterate here two numbers. Total revenues, $55,249. Total expenses, $52. That's cutting it close. It's $2,700 difference. Now, we carried over the balance from 23 of $136,796. We're holding on to that money for dire needs. And then we added $2,734. So right now we have $139,531.83 in the account. Major accomplishments in 2024, we had none. The only thing we did, we improved the ballpark a little bit by, we cemented the 2 dugouts, and we added some low dirt with low spots, where the low spots were, and we purchased a load of red clay for the infield, and we purchased 2 new pickleball nets. That's the only extra stuff we did. The rest of the stuff is operating expenses. And right now in 2025, we did install something new. We initiated a fee for using our pavilion. We hadn't done that ever since I've been here. You must go online at Gaines Recreation Facebook page. There's a QR code there. There's going to be a $100 deposit, and after everything is done, if everything's okay, you get $50 back. So this is new for us this year. Other than that, that's about it, folks.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Landry? I don't see any. Thank you very much. Very thorough. Much appreciated. Good job. Next up, we have Mr. Spence Crisoni, Fire Protection District Number 9, present an annual report. You got the mic, Chief.
All right. Spence Crisoni, 213 Dufresne Street in Gaines, Louisiana. Currently Commissioner for Lafourche Parish Fire Protection District Number 9. Our goals for last year was actually to finish off the year in the black. If you recall, the last time I was up here, I was really dreading trying to figure out how we were going to do it. The state came up and gave us a grant for about $50,000. Okay, so the $41,000 that we actually collected in revenue, minus the $25,000 note, plus all of the other expenses, we ended the year at $9,000 in the black. So we made it through with the help of the state. The biggest challenge we have right now is insurance. Insurance for this little bitty department is $32,000 a year. That's a lot of insurance, and we collect but 41. We still gonna get some more from the state and this other grant, but we've got to figure out some kind of way to generate more revenue and do something else. In the future, we are a Class 4 community rating. You all know that we have a water shortage problem in the Gaines area. The state has actually put up, I know, $1 million. We had some before, and back in 2018 when I was up here talking about it, it cost $2.5 million. Well, here we are, 2025, we're no closer, and guess what that price now is? You know, We got to get this resolved. If this is not resolved, it's not going to make the fire department look bad. We've done what we could, and for 30-plus years, we've been asking to get this taken care of. So I'm going to ask again, please take care of it. That's all I got. Any questions?
Anybody, any questions for the chief? That's it. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Next up, Ms. Charlene Rodriguez, Executive Director for Lafourche Council on Aging, to present her annual report. And you have the mic, Ms. Charlene.
Good afternoon. I gave Ms. Carlene the original budget, the single audit, minutes and sign-in sheets, advisory board and board of directors, meeting dates, service performance reports, and the roster for the advisory board and board of directors. You all have a copy of the service performance reports as well as the advisory board and board of directors meeting dates if any of you would like to attend. As you can see, the services, that was budgeted, numbers performed was actually completed and the average percentage was met. We did go over the budget with several services last year. This year we had to put clients on a waiting list in order to stay within budget. We are filling the slots as people come off the program. As you all know, we're building our new office. It's getting there, slow but sure. We're in the process of getting to pour the cement as the weather allows. Our goal will be to be in the office by November, weather permitting. It may be December, but you know all good things come to those who wait, so we're still waiting. You have any questions?
Anybody got a question, Ms. Charlene? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, with the building of the new building that y'all building, that's not gonna affect all the services that y'all been given, huh?
No.
It won't?
No.
I didn't
mean,
think it would,
no,
but I was
shouldn't.
just-
No. I mean, we're gonna stay within our budget so that we make sure we have the funds we need to have.
Right, you wanna
know,
stay
for the
within
building. Yes,
whatever,
yes.
but
See,
it's not
before
really gonna-
we could have gone over budget, and we did. And that's why we're trying to stay within the budget now, because we wanna make sure that we have the funds we need to do what we need to
Okay.
do also. Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Charlene.
thank you.
And last final one is Mr. Wayne Gautreaux, General Manager of Lafourche Parish Water District Number 1, to present his annual report. Wayne, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Wayne Gautreaux, Lafourche Parish Water District, 1219 Crescent Avenue in Lafourche, Louisiana. For 2024, we produce about 3.8 billion gallons of water. It's a lot higher. We had that drought last year, so it increased our production roughly about 10.5 million gallons a day. We finished the year with approximately just under 33,000 customers, which is getting us back close to where we were with Hurricane Ida. We currently have 71,000 full-time employees. The port continues to be our biggest group that uses water, but surprisingly, I just did some research for a bond sale that we're doing, but the alligator farm, Saltwater Alligator Farm, actually is our biggest customer, surprisingly. So, yeah, so just looking at projects that we completed, I'm not sure if y'all have the report, but waterline projects completed, we finished 7 projects last year for a total of $6.5 million spent on new water line. Approximately 38,000 feet of new water line was installed. The big item on that one was the new 18-inch between Galliano and Cutoff, which completed our loop all the way to Fouchon. The non-water line projects we completed, there was 10 projects for a little over $3 million. The big project on that, we were finally able to complete our new Leeville booster station that was damaged for Hurricane Ida. So we got a new state-of-the-art booster station in service. Now we're just waiting for FEMA to reimburse us, so we're getting close. They paid for about $1.5 million out of that $1.9 million that we spent on that booster station. Waterline projects under construction. We have 5 projects currently under construction for a little over $2 million. The big project on that one is the capital outlay project that we have in Kramer, extending an 8-inch water line in that area. The non-waterline projects that we have, 3 of them under construction. The big one for that one is our new administration office that got demolished for the hurricane. So we finally got underway with that. We took bids a few weeks ago, a little under $5 million. We'll be building a new office complex on the side of our south plant. Currently, projects under design. We have 5 projects total under design, a little over $3 million. The 2 big projects, we're still waiting on Nunio bridges, 308 bridges. DOTD still hadn't given us the go-ahead to do that. It's still not even on their schedule. So you're looking at another 6 months. That project's on hold. And then we actually have another 1.5 million in capital outlay for the Kramer extension that's sitting in priority 5. We're waiting for them to bump it up to priority 1 so we can proceed with that project. And lastly, the non-water line projects that are under design, the big project for that at our North Plant expansion, that's about $20 million, the first phase of it, and then a second $10 million after that. We actually selling the bonds tomorrow morning, so hopefully we'll be moving forward. We got some individual projects that'll be starting a new tank and such. So every time we put one of these little phases in projects, is going to help us on the north end. I know everybody's wanting to know about the freeze, but that was in 2025, so I'll comment on that next year, but no. Anyway, the two things, the oil spill, because ever since Archie and me took over, it seems like we have a disaster every year. So the oil spill, the parish, and the guys doing the cleanup, some kind of way protected us. We had very minimal effects from it, except for going on a conservation notice just to be on the safe side. No residual effects from any of that. We had the drought, which didn't affect us too bad. Then we had the hurricane, had a little bit of damage at our north plant, but for FEMA, all we applied for Hurricane Francine was just some generator usage. So a few minutes just to update y'all. I know everybody's wondering about the freeze. I talked to a lot of y'all when it was going on. For what we did, what we were able to do, it was pretty remarkable considering how bad it was. You know, this plant upgrade is going to add 3 million gallons a day to our North plant. And just to let everybody know right now, we still would not been able to catch up, you know. So we got 33,000 meters, and just to try to get a grasp on what we're talking about, just if 25,000 of those customers were just flowing a half a gallon a minute, that's more water than our plants can produce combined. So when you combine the tanks that we have on site and the amount of water that we can produce, you know, we were probably pushing 19.5 to 20 million gallons a day, and you just can't keep up. And we were actually, the Wednesday afternoon around lunchtime, I think I talked to Archie, called me how things are going. I said, we're actually doing well. You know, we had 9 feet of water in Bayou Blue, which is remarkable for the freeze that we had. And then in a matter of an hour, somebody posted that we were turning the water off. And once that post hit, we lost everything. We lost our south system and our north system. Typically, we can keep up on the south side because we got bigger lines, bigger flow. We lost the south side, we lost the north side, and we couldn't catch up. It took us another 2 days to catch up. So just to show look, we can talk to we blue in the face that if it doesn't come from us, don't listen to it. But all it took was one post from somebody down the bayou, and literally in an hour, we lost everything. So from there, you got to catch up. I know people weren't happy. You know, we don't never turn the water off. Like other systems and all that, sometimes they isolate areas and just starve those people and sacrifice areas. We don't do that. You know, the customer that lives on Lower Bayou Blue is just as important as the customer that lives in Country Club. So the problem is the water got to go through certain areas before it can get to these areas. So we push out as hard as we can. Eventually, your tanks on your plant property need to be refilled. That's what does our filters. That's what based everything on. So we decided to not close the valve, just not push out as hard into the system overnight. And yeah, some people ended up without, a lot of areas that ended up without water, but that's all we can do. Because if we do it during the day, then nobody has water. So can't commend our employees enough out there in the cold, all hours of the night. I didn't even look at the numbers yet. I guarantee it's going to be some records for the amount of water we produce. Just our distribution department, I went through the numbers yesterday. It was almost 400 hours of overtime. You know, so we were diligent. You know, Archie, I was in contact with everybody. You know, got a lot of calls from the councilman and all that. Y'all our eyes, you know, as soon as we try to react as soon as we can. And, you know, so the North Plant expansion is going to help. That's some other things we can do right now. Our worst area is Lower Bayou Blue, just because they're the end of our system, getting water to them. And we're already designing improvements and all that for that. So, and the last thing is, I didn't mention this, the Terrebonne, I don't have nothing new on that. So if anybody wants to see what it looked like to desludge a pit right now at our south plant. If you pass it on 308, if you look in the back, that's what it looks like when we dig the sludge. So it's a lot to grasp. I know I'm kind of rambling, but a lot of times it's easier. If you want to come to the plant, we can show y'all what we deal with. Just give us a call. We'll give y'all a tour of the plant, help you understand what's going on, So.
Very good. All right. Looks like everybody's lighting up there. So, Mr. Adams, you're first.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the project in Kramer. So I've had a couple of people reach out to me saying that they get their water lines busted. They didn't know who to call. Like when they were working, the contractor busted their line, then they left. If something happens like that, who should they reach out to?
So who says what now? I'm sorry.
The water line proven in Kramer. If the contractor busts a water line, because they had
Yeah.
that already a couple of times, who do they call to get the contractor back out there to fix the water line?
For the freeze and all that?
No.
No, for the
Just in general, when they're doing contract work in the area?
Yeah.
If the contractor causes a problem, who do they contact?
us, we take care. Now, they've been having a problem, they've been having some issues breaking some service lines.
That's it.
And, so they called us. Now, what we did was they were waiting for us to go make the repairs. So we brought them some extra material now, because what happens is if it's after hours and we have a crew in a rows working, then that customer's gonna be out. So now they taking care of the service tubing. But the problem was they thought they had to lay at a certain depth, so we got them to lower it just a little bit to try to go underneath the service tubing.
So they just call the water?
Yeah, they just call the water district. We have somebody answering the phone 24/7. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Mr. Melvin, you're up.
Wayne, thank y'all. Y'all responded very quickly to some little hiccups we had, and I know, considering the event, I think y'all just did an awesome job, because it could have been so much worse, and it wasn't. So thank you.
Right, well, I appreciate, look, we were in contact at constant time. Every time you call, we're lucky we had somebody in the area and all that, so we were able to jump on it,
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Wayne, I want to say thank you to you and you guys too, from trying to route your truck of alum to the plant on a Wednesday through the icy roads with state police. Shout out to Captain Frank, or Major Frank Bason as well, for helping us get that truck finally to the plant. But you guys did a hell of a bang up job. Thanks for the communication during the event as well. And look, guys, we are not going to make everybody happy during events like this, but in moments like this, I think that's where his guys shine. So thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you helping us too with the communications. I don't have time to sit in my office and deal with communications all day long. We all work. I'm out there turning water off and all that, so we all work. So it helps when y'all allow us to help with the communications and all that. So.
Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, I want to thank you and your crew. And I've been without water and without electricity, but I think it's tougher to be without water than electricity.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. Water is needed. And one more thing, real quick. I pass on 308 every now and then, and I see a lot of excavators back there. Are y'all cleaning out your pits?
Yeah, that's digging the sludge pits
And
out.
how often do y'all clean that?
That's first time we dig it in 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
you,
Everyone
Mr.
needs to
Lorraine.
come get some lessons with you guys.
Mr. Pierce, you have the floor.
Yeah, Wayne, I'm with the other guys. I just want to say thank you. Y'all did a great job. I think y'all did. We all been through hurricanes. We know what it's like. A couple of days without water. I can live with that. I think it'd have been a lot worse if we'd lost power. My thing is, I was questioned by people on Lower Bayou Blue. You just mentioned some stuff about Lower Bayou Blue. They feel like they're always left out in this situation. Right. There are improvements being made to Lower Bayou Blue, is what you're saying?
Yeah, what we did this time, because we were able to get real-time information, we bought some monitors that we could put on the hydrants, so we were able to get real-time information, knowing where the critical areas for. So we tried actually bringing the water from the north.
I understand.
And coming down from North Bayou Blue to south. The problem was, we didn't realize this, the Friday, Lower Bayou Blue pretty much should have had water. Well, Cairo Performance Food Group's fire tank was overflowing, and we dumped almost 120-something thousand gallons on the ground that could have went to the customers.
So that is a water tank that they have there? See, that's another thing that I was questioned about on Bayou Blue is this, this is probably one of the biggest plants around here that took a lot of water. I didn't realize that was water. I thought that was chemicals, so I learned something today
so
too.
that big tank in the front now was full. So,
right.
But what ended up happening was their solenoids froze and allowed the tank to overflow all night.
I understand.
So that y'all should have actually had water Friday night.
Yeah, we did. I did anyway.
Yeah.
But everybody thought I had a special water line to my house, you know?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but anyway, thank you for what y'all do, and that was my concern, was Lower Bayou Blue. I was questioned about it. That's what I needed to know.
The plant expansion is going to help, but there's also going to be some things we're going to do that we think we're going to be able to mitigate. And look, for y'all to have 9 foot of water the Wednesday after the coldest night, typically y'all wouldn't have had no water by Wednesday, and then once that text went out, we lost everything.
Well, you know what I find too is that a lot of people didn't even realize that they kept saying they didn't have water pressure. Go clean your screens out. Every faucet in your house has a screen. Go clean them out. You know, we lost water pressure. That happens every time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that helped clear some of it up when I
Well, the
put that
problem
out.
with water being so cheap, it's easier to run the faucet than getting a plumber out there to fix your lawn.
Yeah,
So
I understand.
that's what we deal with.
But anyway, I appreciate what y'all did. I talked to one of you guys this morning because I saw him turning the valve, and I went, oh, Lord, what are you doing, man? He goes, nothing, don't worry about it. But we good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Mr. Araby.
Yeah, I just want to echo.
Go ahead, Terry.
I just want to echo what everybody else is saying, Wayne. I want to thank y'all and your crew for a job well done. I know y'all had some rough days, and you and I were steady in contact with each other every day about different situations. So again, thank y'all for the job y'all did.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you. I mean, you were eyes on the ground too, looking for leaks with us and stuff and all that. So it's all about communication. So
Thank you. So the only comments I have is, I still don't understand why we can't do the phone notifications. I understand Facebook for those who can get to Facebook, but for the water consumption, maybe even a little public service announcement to check for your busted water lines. I know the parish has the ability to do that, and I know that was a disconnect when we talked about this last time. I really think that would be very beneficial for people, even like me, that's on the go and getting it and is not sitting on Facebook to see the updates. I think that would have helped. But once again, some of us fully understand the water issues. I can tell you Thursday, midday. So now this is a ways after the event, right? I got flagged down by a deaf lady, and she flagged me down. She said that my lines are busted, but I don't know how to turn the valve off. So when I went to turn her water off, I realized the next one, out of 9 houses on this street, just south of Lockport, 8 of the 9 houses had busted water lines that were still flowing at midday Thursday. So I think a lot of people just don't check their waters. They don't know how to turn them off, or I'm not sure, but I think a public service announcement to go outside and check your water, they thought they had reduced water pressure, but they had busted water lines.
Right.
And I will tell you, some of us heeded the warning. We had a structure fire for Friday morning, and we put no pressure on the system. We went and sucked out the bias. So if everyone's aware of what's going on, I think we could probably help y'all out a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I would encourage us to look at this.
I didn't realize this. So first thing I did yesterday morning, the girl that kind of handles all our Facebook posts and all that, I brought her in. I said, look, I got this company that we can do text alerts and all that. And she's like, we actually do that, just nobody signs up for it. So that's why we started, if you look at our Facebook page today, we started blasting it out there. If you go to our website, you put your phone number in and all that, you will get text alerts and you will get notifications and all that. The only thing we're still working on is the landline. It's a little bit different, but yeah, so yeah, we get people, and they don't realize, they're raising hell with us, and their personal line's closed because they forgot they turned the water off for the storm and all that. So it is what it is, we learn, we know better. We just do what we got to do and get the water back on, so.
Well, I think if the parish can work in conjunction, Mr. President, with them on this text alert, I really think that's the way to go. You're going to reach more people than Facebook. But anyway, thank you for coming out, Wayne. Much appreciated.
All right, thank you.
All right, brings us to item E, engineers, architect reports. One time, no engineers, architects tonight? All right, brings us to item F, public wishing to address the council, public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. Ms. Carleen. We'll wait to ordinance. Okay, very good. Brings us to item G, approval of minutes. Item number 2, I'll now entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the January 14, 2025 regular session. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Brings us to item H, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I'll now entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 3, ordinance designating 2 90-gallon green garbage cans to be placed at the Theogene, Melanson, Leeville boat launch Moved by Mr. Lorraine. This was deferred from the 12/10/2024 and 1/14/25 Lafourche Parish Council meetings. No public hearing held. Can I get a second for that motion? Second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 3? Ms. Bro, you can come up. Just remember to state your name and address for the record. Hold on 1 second. Got it. You good.
Brittany Bro, 265 West 107th Street, Cutoff, Louisiana, 70345. I want to thank y'all for the trash cans. We really need them back in Leeville. I have 2 properties down there, and since we haven't had the trash cans down there, the people that go to the pier and fish, when they're on their way back up to buy it, they just throw the trash everywhere. So if they see a dumpster, they'll stop and fill the dumpster. We have, at the RV park, we had to move the dumpster to the back because everybody was filling it up. The people come to the park and there's nowhere for them to put their trash. So if you go down to the pier, there's just litter everywhere. My dad, we have the property, used to be Big Glenn's, but it's within walking distance of the pier and it all just blows everywhere. So there used to be trash cans there. We thought somebody stole them. Then we found out that y'all picked them up. But the trash truck passes, he goes back there and he turns around. So I'm hoping y'all can put these trash cans back so we don't have this litter issue anymore. Be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, ma'am. Much
Thank y'all.
appreciated. All right, would anyone else from the public wish to address the council? Last and final call. Anyone from the public wishing to address the council on ordinance at number 3? Council. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor first, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Brittany for coming here. She's a concerned citizen, and she's also concerned about the environment. As she stated, the truck has to go there, either to pick it up or not. And I'll be brief. 6 months ago, I sat in Archie Chasson's office, and I told him what happened. And I asked him to put back the 2 garbage cans. We have 2 sets of racks that are there now, empty. For 4 years with Jimmy Cantrell, it worked. For 4 years with Archie Chasson, it worked. Now this year, it don't work. Just put back the 2 garbage cans. I did what I needed to do, went to his office, asked him, told him what happened, because I got a call from a Terry Brewer that fishes on the pier. He thought somebody stole the cans. But it just so happened that they were picked up by the administration. The administrator picked them up. For what reason, I don't know. But like this lady says, her father has a camper right by it, and they're throwing, he had to move his dumpster. Port Fourchon has a public launch, and they pay for 3-4 yard dumpsters. And we can't pay for 2 garbage cans? That was there before. So I'm asking y'all, if you don't want to support me, support Brittany. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Lorraine. Mr. Perk, you have the floor, sir.
I guess a question to the parish president. Under the Keep Louisiana Beautiful initiative, it's my understanding we finally got that grant money through. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that. That might be, I mean, it's an issue at all the launches, and so how do we, I encounter it at the Layton launch as well. So it's how do we move forward that we can conform with all of our launches from the north to the south or south to the north.
Thank you, Mr. Perk. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, yeah, we were awarded, along with the Sheriff's Office, a Keep Louisiana Beautiful grant that's going to put garbage cans at all the launches. We worked it out with the Sheriff's Office to where their litter bus is going to take care of them, along with somebody from our staff that's going to visit the launches once a week. That's not only going to do kind of just general cleanup so that they make sure the grass is cut and everything's looking good across the launches, but it'll take care of all of them. We're waiting for those. They sent the grant agreement in. We're waiting. I don't know if we didn't put it on the agenda yet. We're waiting on the agreement to come in. We got the award notice, but we should have all of the launches taken care of and the garbage cans put in by spring. So another month and a half or 2.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor, sir.
In this particular case, can we just put the cans and pick them up whenever this initiative goes into effect in the spring, in a month or 2 or 3, or?
Yeah. This is an executive function, not legislative, so that's why this is not a valid ordinance, as I've been explaining to. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Yes. Did I go to your office 6 months ago and talk to you? Thank you for saying the truth. I appreciate that. What's so
Okay,
hard
Mr.
about just putting a couple of cans? The truck has to go. It's nothing new. And my God, 6 months to fix this? Are you kidding me? And you're going to say make Lafourche beautiful? Come on.
Thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Is there any further discussion? I would just reiterate that this ordinance is an impediment on the executive branch. This is not something for the legislative branch, as I've explained before. So this is not something the council should be taking up, period. But anyway, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed say nay. Nay. Nays, raise your hand. So the motion passes by a vote of 7 yeas, 2 nays, 0 nays being Councilman Otan and Councilman Perk. Brings us to item 4, ordinance amending ordinance number 6986 that adopted the 2025 operations and maintenance budget and capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting the salaries of unclassified employees as provided for by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Ms. Chasson for the administration, second by Mr. Arabi. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 4? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 4. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 4? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. That brings us to item I, proposed ordinances, and Mr. Perk, we have none for tonight. Which brings us to item J, resolution. Number 5, resolution approving an agreement between Connick and Associates and Lafourche Parish Government for consulting services and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 6, resolution approving a grant application for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, funding through the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development, Local Government Assistance Program for the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Anyone wants to discuss this? Any discussion? Then there be none. We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 7, resolution amending resolution number 24-391 that approved an agreement between Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development and Lafourche Parish Government for the planning of a replacement for the old LA 182 bridge over Bayou Lafourche in Raceland, state project number H.015616, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Arabi for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 8, resolution ratifying nominations by the parish president for the North Lafourche Conservation Levee and Drainage District and requesting the governor for the state of Louisiana to appoint 2 members. Motion by Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 9, resolution approving an agreement between the State of Louisiana, Office of the Lieutenant Governor, Department of Culture, Recreation and Tourism, Keep Louisiana Beautiful Initiative, and Lafourche Parish Government for the 2025 Keep Louisiana Beautiful Community Affiliate Grant Program, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Adams on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 10, resolution approving agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Danos LLC for the construction of the Lockport Living Shoreline Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Motion by Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Brings us to item K, parish president, department heads, directors or managers' reports, presentations, and or updates. Number 11, finance representative to present the monthly financial report as required by the state agreed upon procedures for November and December 2024. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You guys have all should have gotten an email today with the updated financials for November and December. When we get to the February meeting, you guys will get the quarterly report with all the PowerPoint.
Thank you. Let the record reflect at 17:39 hours, Mr. Adams stepped out of the chambers. Thank you, Mr. President. Brings us to item L, questions for the administration. Ms. Chesson, you have the floor first, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm asking for updates on IDA repairs. So baseball fields, are we done with all of that? Also the library, where we are in the construction going on in the inside of the new library, and the hospital. Do we know a final on a date of opening and all that good jazz? And the health unit. Thank you.
So I think it was recreation, library, and hospital. All right. And Mr. Melvin.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I got a call from Mr. Dickie Dake today, who has several patents in the cement industry over his lifetime. And he also is one of the managers of the golf course, and said that the reason he thinks the cement ditch wall is having issues is because it's a low spot on the course that's flowing water, and instead of going over the wall, it's going under the wall. So he had some suggestions. He doesn't want a meeting right now, but thinking maybe to run it straight to the 40, or if we can have a drain and go into the cement ditch this way, it's going to stop the water from getting behind that wall. That's just a suggestion that he had through me. Also, we'd like an update on that, because I know y'all said y'all hired an engineer. On Baja Trail, Dylan, did you get a chance, or when you do, could you please email me if we have a road? So if you take a right off of Burma onto Chisholm, and you're going down and you take a right on Baja, it's a right going down Chisholm, a right on Baja. There seems to be some neighborly disputes. I think it may be a civil issue, but we're just trying to see, because there's some drainage issues that may be us, I don't know. And I think that'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. All right, do y'all have any answers to these inquiries? Mr. Chesson, you have the floor first, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So literally right before I walked into the meeting, you guys all got the updated project status sheets.
Excuse me, Mr. Chesson, if you don't mind, 17:40 hours, Mr. Adams re-entered chambers.
So yeah, the Galliana complex is going strong. The roof is all redone. They're working on the inside, doing mechanical and electrical first, and then once all that's put in, you'll see the studded walls go up, floors, and all that fun stuff. We're really pushing them hard to have the Head Start done first, so we can get our kiddos back into school down there for next school year. Mitch keeps telling me I'm a little over enthusiastic with that, but that's my job, so that's what I keep screaming at him for. Most of the rec projects are done. They're still doing a few cleanup items. The health unit's coming along as well. We should be into that thing hopefully toward the end of summer, beginning of the fall. Again, that'll have some clinician space for mental health, as well as all the fun stuff that the health unit does already for our families down there. I know Mitch talks to Mr. Lloyd a lot more than I do about the hospital, unless he's got an update on I don't know that they have a date yet. I mean, that would have to come from them. We don't really step on their toes when it comes to their project. We did get approval last week, and I know I sent you the email with the official award letter for the health unit or the clinic that we're helping them build with some of the hazard mitigation dollars from OCD that we had. So that'll be coming along, kicking off engineering and design the next couple of months. And I'm going to kick it to Dylan for the Baja Trail stuff.
All right, excellent. All right, Dylan, so the two questions he had one was reference to the Gulf, and the other one was the Baja Trail. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. So the concrete line ditch, we don't have a contract with the engineer yet, but we have met on site once. We have met internally on that. We are going to work towards a contract with him. He has some concerns about the thickness of the concrete and it using wire mesh instead of rebar. So he thinks structurally there's an issue with it, not so much water behind it, just not thick enough, not beefy enough. So we'll continue that process with him. And we're coming up with a phased approach because we know we can't afford to replace it all at once. So we're looking at from that section where it's failing to the back. And really what we're waiting on is cost estimates now. So cost estimates so we can look at an engineering contract so we see if this is something that we can afford and tackle. And on the Baja Trail, I did get your right of way. I have not had, I did get your email. I did not have time to look at the right of way, but we'll get on that this week and I'll call you or email you back once I have it. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it. Brings us to item M, discussion. Anyone has any other discussion? Anyone on the council? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, I just want to say the last 3 or 4 meetings, we've been making decisions up here on not getting the opinion, on verbal opinions. Gentlemen, you can't make decisions on verbal opinions, okay? And if we can't pass an ordinance, well, we all go home. That's simple. It's not always the administration. You got administration, you got a council. Of course, you don't want to overstep your boundaries, but 3 or 4 crucial votes that was up here in the last 3-4 months was verbal. And how can you make a decision on a verbal opinion? Get it in writing if you're so sure.
It's pretty easy. As a legislative branch of government, as an executive branch of government, if you understand that, you understand where we're at.
Get
It's
it
easy.
verbal,
It's real easy.
Mr. Otan. Get it verbal.
Do a
Let them
little
put it in
homework and
writing.
understand legislative versus executive. That's all
I
I'm saying.
know what legislative
Executive
and
branch.
I've been here longer than you. I could teach you.
Apparently not. The ordinance you just
Apparently
did is
not.
not an executive
Shit.
branch.
Don't tell me I can't teach you.
It's not an executive branch function. It's easy. It's easy governmental affairs. It's very easy. Any other discussion? No discussion. I'll now entertain a motion for adjournment. Item N on a motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Brumfield. And with no further business, the Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of January 28, 2025 will be adjourned at 17:45 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays.